Okay, so ready to dive into something kind of dark.
I'm ready when you are. Always up for a good mystery.
All right, buckle up. We're going deep on this one. I'll Be Gone in the Dark,
Yeah.
Michelle McNamara's book.
Yeah, the Golden State Killer. Chillin' stuff.
It really is.
Yeah.
And, the book, it's not just about the GSK, it's about McNamara herself, her obsession with this case.
Absolutely. Her dedication to finding this guy, it just jumps off the page.
So before we get too far, for anyone who maybe needs a refresher, the Golden State Killer, he terrorized California for over a decade.
Right. The 70s and 80s. Over 50 sexual assaults, 13 murders. It's crazy.
And here's the thing, for years they thought these were all separate cases. Different criminals. Can you imagine?
It's mind-boggling. Like, different parts of California, different MOs. They had no idea it was all connected.
And that's where McNamara comes in. She starts digging into all this, and she sees the patterns. She's the one who actually coined the name Golden State Killer.
That's right. Before that, he was the East Area Rapist, the original Night Stalker, all these different names.
Exactly. She kind of, I don't know, unified him, gave him an identity that the public could latch on to.
And in a way, she brought him to life. Not in a good way, obviously, but suddenly there was this single terrifying figure everyone was looking for.
And she was obsessed with finding him. Spent years, poring over police reports, evidence, you name it.
She basically became a detective herself, a citizen detective, I guess you could say, talked to victims, witnesses, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, there's this part in the book she talks about staying up for days on end, barely sleeping, just chasing down leads.
Right. And it makes you think, where's the line? How far is too far when you get caught up in something like this?
That's the question, isn't it? The book, it doesn't shy away from that. It shows the toll it took on her family.
Yeah, it's not just a crime story, it's her story too. And that adds this whole other level to it.
So let's talk about the GSK himself. I mean, the guy was terrifying, breaking into homes, sometimes stalking his victims for weeks.
He had this whole routine. He'd blindfold them, tie them up. Sometimes he'd spend hours in their houses before attacking.
In one case, he tied up the husband in one room while he assaulted the wife in another. It's just brutal.
The book, it does such a good job of capturing the fear that was hanging over California back then. You can practically feel it.
Every noise, every shadow could be him. It's scary to even think about.
And then there's her writing style, which honestly is just incredible.
Right. It's like you're reading a thriller, but it's all real. She somehow manages to make it both terrifying and captivating.
And the crazy thing is, she predicted how it would end. Even back then, before DNA was really being used to solve crimes, she was sure that's how they'd catch him.
It's almost like she saw the future, And that makes what happened even more, I don't know, strange.
Poignant, maybe.
Yeah, poignant. Because, well, she didn't live to see it.
She passed away in 2016 before the book was even finished.
Her husband, Patton Oswalt, the comedian, he helped get published, worked with researchers and journalists to kind of pull it all together.
And then, boom, 2 years later, they arrest Joseph James DeAngelo, using DNA evidence, just like she said.
It's crazy, right? Like, her work, all her research, it led to that moment. It helped bring this guy to justice after all these years.
It's like she cracked the case from beyond the grave. I mean, it really shows you the power one person can have, even if they're not, a cop or a detective or whatever.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder about what if? What if she had lived to see it? Would things have been different for her?
It's hard to say. But it definitely makes you think about the price of obsession. How far is too far,
And here's something to ponder. With all the advancements in DNA tech now, and all these online communities dedicated to cracking cold cases, do you think a case like this could be solved even faster today?
Maybe, but then again, maybe not. I mean, sometimes it takes that one person, that one obsessed individual who just won't let go to really make a difference. What do you think?
It's a good question. I think it's something we all have to kind of grapple with. Where is the line between passion and obsession? And what are we willing to sacrifice in the pursuit of justice?
Heavy stuff. Makes you think.
It really does.